So your son says to you, Mom, I want to be a professional gamer. What do? Well, let's talk about that today on Tips on Teens. My name is Kent Toussaint. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist, and I specialize in helping kids, teens, and families live happier lives. I lead two organizations, the group Private Practice Teen Therapy Center and the nonprofit 501c3 organization Child and Teen Counseling, both here in Woodland Hills, California. And every Wednesday at noon, I jump onto Facebook Live to answer your parenting questions. And let's jump into today's question. My son wants to be a professional gamer. He's supposedly really good too. If it was a sport or an instrument, we'd let him do it all the time without thinking twice about it. We wouldn't want to get in the way if there's a chance he really could make a career out of it. On the other hand, we feel like there are much healthier pursuits than video games. Are we stuck in the ice age, or is this professional gaming thing the new version of baseball? Thank you for your question. That's a big question. Will sports, video game sports, take over and become major crowd-pleasing events that are biggest celebrities, just like football and baseball and basketball? I don't know. A lot of young kids think it will. Time will tell. But I hear this a lot. And, again, if this kid was playing baseball or playing violin, the parents are like, go, do it. Do it for 8 hours a day. Fantastic. Explore your dream. But video games, it's like, I don't know. It's not necessarily the most healthier pursuit. It's kind of limiting what you can do with it. And there's a point to that. But here's the thing on this, and I hear this a lot. Like, I had a parent years ago say, her kid was very talented in art. We were exploring, how to expand that creativity. And Mom's like, I don't want to pursue that because I don't want him to major in art. I don't want him to be a bum on Venice Beach selling watercolors. And I had to let the mom know that there's plenty of opportunities to use art in ways that are very productive. There's advertising, marketing, there's design, there's all these kinds of things that we need artists for in the world. Now, are there less opportunities for artists than accountants? Yes. However, accountants, artists, video gamers, they're all going to need the same thing. And what that is balance. So let's say you allow your kid to follow this path, this dream of being a professional video game player. They can't just be playing video games all the time. They have to have something else. They have to be able to have some regular exercise, a relatively healthy diet, some, sleep hygiene, getting 8 to 10 hours sleep a night, have interactions with other people face to face. I know we're in quarantine, but have some kind of interaction with the family. Go do stuff. They can't just do video games. They can't just be, because they'll burn out. Number one, they'll burn out and they won't be as good a video gamer. And it's really important that they have balance so they can stay strong and stable. Just like if they were doing violin or dance or baseball or math. If your kid was so into math and that's all they did, that's not very good for them either. Now, we need mathematicians. We need really good mathematicians. But we still need people that have balance so they are having self-care and take care of themselves. If you decide you want to do this and you want to explore this, keep in mind that out of the professional gamers in this world, there's probably a handful that make, millions of dollars like a professional athlete would. Probably 150 to 200 who make in the six-figure range. Maybe 300 to 400 who make an average of like $60,000 a year. And you should also know that the lifespan of a gamer, if you're 25, you're past your prime, you're old. 25-year-old professional gamers it's like Tom Brady, if you know who Tom Brady is. He's a really old guy who's really good at football for some reason. I don't know why. But that's kind of so if your kid does go down this path and does start making money, by the time they're 25, they're done. And so let's say they're averaging, $50,000, $60,000 a year. A third of that's taken out of taxes. Maybe another third or so is expenses. So maybe they're keeping $10,000 to $15,000 a year in stocking away, for college or something, which would be great. And they can always go back to college later on, especially if they have a well-rounded life. They could probably hit the ground running, go to college, and do whatever they want to do. Some are going to take this career and turn into a streaming career. And streaming basically means you play video games live and you comment and you make jokes and all that stuff. And there are a handful of people who do really well at this. Most people don't. And you may need to let your kid run through this. and try it out. Just like if they're going to try to go be a baseball player or be a singer or whatever that is. At a certain point, most people recognize this is not working. But again, if that's all they have in their life, they're going to crumble. They need to make sure they have interactions with people, they have other interests. It's really important they have that so they can make that transition, because that transition is likely to happen. I'm not saying you should allow your kid to do this or you should stop them. Ultimately, that's going to be up to you. But what I would say is, what helps you preserve a loving connection with your kid? And that's what's important, because that will last a lifetime. Your connection with your kid lasts a lifetime. What grade they got in English class or what score they got on the last video game, it's okay, but it's not lasting. Your relationship is lasting. That means you need to set boundaries, but also you need to make time to connect with your kid and bond with your kid. And as long as your kid has connection with you and some friends and some other interests and is able to have some self-care, maybe you let them give it a shot. Who knows? It's a tough question. Thank you for sending this question. We love the questions. Keep them coming. If you have a question you'd like me to answer here on Tips on Teens, you can email us at tipsonteens@teentherapycenter.com, or you can direct message us right here on Facebook or Instagram. Thanks again. My name is Kent Toussaint from Teen Therapy Center and Child and Teen Counseling, and I will see you next Wednesday on Facebook Live. Bye-bye, guys.